Hi, I'm Gerald Wessels, and whenever I list a house, one of the things that I enjoy doing is talking about the reasons that I personally would like to buy a particular house. Now, my videos in the past have been like the 4 or 5 reasons that I would love to own the house, but today I want to talk about just one reason. I'll make other videos about the other reasons, but there's one main reason that I would love to own this house. And that's because it has a full daylight walkout basement. Now, what do we mean by all of that? I mean, I'm sure you know what a basement means, but even my sign writer outside says walkout basement. It should say a daylight walkout basement. Well, what does all of that mean? Well, first, I want you to know that this house has a large basement. I mean, it's big. A lot of times when you have a basement in a house, maybe it's just a portion of the house, maybe it's rather small, but we have 1,854 square feet up, and we have a full basement downstairs. It's 1,854 square feet downstairs as well. So this is a rather large house. Now, I want you to know also that I believe that this particular house is a bargain. Well, what do I mean by a bargain when we're talking about basement space? Well, the situation is when you have a house, at least in this state, with the MLS that we're with, when you have unfinished square footage, it does not count towards the total square footage when all of the measurements are divided up. In other words, this house appears, when we're looking at the price per square footage, as rather high. But the only reason for that is because the basement downstairs is unfinished. If it was finished downstairs, then this house would look, my goodness, this price per square foot would be very, very minimal. Now, I've been in a quandary, and I really do believe that real estates need to represent a house accurately. I've been in a bit of a quandary because the basement isn't just totally a blank. In fact, a lot of the rooms have already been set out. So the walls are all in place. A lot of the lights are already there, but it doesn't have the floor done, and it doesn't have the ceiling. So I'd feel rather remiss to make it sound like it's completely finished. But somebody could go down there, and I know we talk about man caves, woman caves, whatever kind of cave you're wanting. It would be very, very simple to finish out this basement and have a lot of square footage. So it really is a bargain to some people, because you can come in, get a basement when, in a lot of new constructions, a basement unfinished might cost you $50,000 extra. The basement is already there. The walls are already there. There's actually 3 large rooms downstairs, and also another storage room, and well, there's actually 2 more storage rooms. Now, what are we talking about when we're, mentioning a walkout basement or a daylight basement or whatever? Well, the main thing I want you to know is that when you have a daylight basement, it just simply means that there are windows to the outside. Now, why is that important? Well, I grew up in northwest Oklahoma, where it's very, very flat. And so when my folks built, and golly, my mom watches this video, she's going to be upset with me. But anyway, when they built their house, there were these little dinky windows, and they had a lever, and you could supposedly get out of them. Well, even in those days, it would have been very difficult for me to get out of that house if there was a fire. So, in this day and age, when you put a basement, you have to have escapes, but then you didn't have to have one. And so it was rather dangerous. A daylight walkout basement just simply means that there's a door or a window that goes out to the daylight. And in this house, 2 of the walls downstairs open to the outside. So it is a bright and airy basement. So it's something that could be finished rather easily, and it would make a very comfortable space for like a home theater, a pool room, a living room. You could also, of course, put a bedroom down there or anything else. So when you are looking for a house and it says that it has a daylight walkout basement, you know that it's going to have a whole lot of open space. It's going to have a lot of daylight, and in the case of this house, there is an exit to the outside. And so it makes for a very, very nice addition to this particular house. And so, if you're interested in this house, I hope that you will look at either up above or below, depending on what media you're watching this on, and you can click and you can see all the pictures of the basement as well as the house and the outside. It's a rather nice setup. I hope you'll take a look.